right, here we go. Well, hello there. Hey guys, James here and welcome back to my channel. This channel is all about sharing my love of cars and everything relating to cars with you guys. So if you've been watching videos on my channel and you've been liking what you've been seeing, it's been making you happy to watch them, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. That's the best way to not miss anything that I have coming out. I'm gonna continue to put out videos every week. And on top of that, it's really encouraging to yours truly. My channel is really tiny right now. As of this morning, I think I have like 92 subscribers. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for more content that I have coming up. But for today, what is today's video about? Well, it's about that guy right there, that car. And what is that car? Well, that's my 2019 ND2 Mazda Miata. And if you've been watching other videos on my channel, you may be aware that this car has been parked up in the San Francisco Bay Area for the last 5 months. That was the last time I was there. During the winter, just to keep my parents safe, I didn't come up and visit. But as the COVID numbers have been coming down, I decided it was an okay time to go visit again. So went up there and picked up this car and drove it down here to San Diego, where I live now. And obviously, I'm super excited to be reunited with my car. I haven't had this toy to play with for almost half a year, and I'm just really excited to take this out onto mountain roads and just kind of experience like rowing through my own gears again and just playing with this thing. And so today's video is going to be about the 3 things that I appreciate the most about this car, that I like most about my ND2 Miata. But first, let's go over what this car actually is and what options it has. Like I said, this is a 2019 ND2 generation Mazda Miata, and ND2 means that we've got the updated engine up here, which has more horsepower. I think it's from 155 up to 181, but that's not really the biggest difference in the engine. When I test drove the ND1 and the ND2 back to back, I found that the biggest difference was how smooth the engine was and how it just continued to feel powerful all the way up to redline. And so I liked the ND2 engine for that, and that's why I got this as opposed to a used ND1. This particular car is the club trim level, and that means it's like the sporty version. In addition to that, I have the Brembo BBS package. So some of my favorite pieces of equipment on this are, well, first of all, the Brembo brakes up front. We've got these calipers here, so that's really nice. It says Brembo right there. It's nice and red. In the back, unfortunately, we still have just regular old Mazda brakes, but at least they painted it in red so that it matches the front. We've also got these really nice BBS wheels, which I think look great. To me, they don't look too ricey or aftermarket. It's like just on that cusp where it doesn't look cheesy, but it looks really good to my eyes. And then this car also has a limited slip differential. That's actually really important to me. I'm not sliding this thing around on the street, but if you ever do take a car to the track, and LSD is just so important to maintain that control in the corner so that you're not doing these one-wheel peels. So I made sure that I got a Miata with a limited slip diff. On the inside, I don't have the Recaro seats. It was exceptionally rare to find a car that had the Brembo BBS package and the Recaro seats. So I kind of settled for these, unbranded leather seats, it was fine for me. I do have the Bose audio, which this might be the worst Bose audio system in the world, but whatever, it works. And I kind of appreciate that it has speakers in the headrests because, when you're, let's say, on the phone with somebody, their voice comes out right here so you can hear it really easily. But yeah, and this is not a luxurious car, it is a really wonderful car to drive, in part because of the equipment that I have on here. One more thing about the brakes, when I test drove the cars with the Brembo brakes and without the Brembo brakes, there was a huge difference, mainly in that the Brembo package brakes had a lot more feedback and feel and response to the brakes. And so it felt a lot more controlled, and I just felt like that was really worth the money to me. So yeah, that's why I went for it. I should also mention this car has these cool pieces right here. I forget what this is called. It's like, I don't know, the club trim level appearance pack or something, but it's got that little splitter thing there. We've also got this little spoiler and this little skirt down here thing. These extra large skirts and things like that. Yeah, I'm totally not using the correct terminology, but you get the idea. It's got those extra body pieces that make this car look more aggressive and, in my opinion, a lot better. All right, so with that said, let's talk about the things that I really love about this car. And the first thing has to be how simple it is and how it kind of asks you to do things manually. Starting with the manual transmission. This is a fantastic manual transmission. And honestly, if you're buying a Miata, unless you're like an amputee, there's no excuse to get an automatic. You should get the manual. And it's a very good manual transmission. It's really easy to place the gears, the shifter into the different gears. It pops in and out very nicely, very predictably, with a very positive engagement. So I really love that. Now, compared to other cars, how does it feel? Well, this is vastly superior to that like rubbery like BMW stuff. So yeah, this is way better. A couple of cars that I think are better than this would have to be, first of all, the S2K. I think that's a little bit more notchy in a good way. And then also the Porsche 6-speed ones, like if in like a GT4, or even like the Boxster and Cayman, when you get the 6-speed manual. Those are really nice transmissions. The gear ratios are a little bit long, but the shifter itself, the feeling is really great. The Porsche 7-speed manual transmissions, I would say, are not as good as this. This is a great transmission, and it beats even a Porsche 7-speed manual transmission. At least the first generation. I had the 991 Carrera S, and that had the first generation 7-speed manual transmission. This beats it hands down. And another example of how this car is just so simple and asks you to do things manually, which I love, is the roof. So check this out. To put down the roof, boom, and it's down, right? Super simple. You just do it yourself. None of this like electric stuff that you press the switch and you wait for it, and then someday it just stops working and you're like, oh crap, now I have this thing that's like halfway open or won't close, right? So I love this. You can just, when you pop it back up, boom, just ultra simple. I love it. It makes you feel connected with the machine, and you know that it's just not gonna break. And that's what's so great about this car, the simplicity and the fact that it asks you to do things manually. Second thing I love about this car is that even though this is not a luxurious car, it has enough creature comforts so that I don't feel like I'm totally in like a jail cell. So let's fire this thing up and take a look here. In here we have the old generation of Mazda infotainment. It works fine. It's a very small screen and it's very upright, which is kind of odd. And it's fairly low resolution, but it gets the job done. And here's the cool thing. So this car actually did not come stock with navigation, but you can just buy like a little SD card, and Mazda dealers will sell you the SD card for like $400 and eBay will sell it to you for like 35. So you pop in the navigation SD card in there, and then magically you have nav. And the other thing is that I actually upgraded this to have CarPlay, and I can't demonstrate it for you at the moment because I have my phone right here recording, but this does have CarPlay now. And basically all you have to do is you buy this kit online for like about $120, and then you replace this module here. There's like a USB module here, and you replace it so that it can support the requirements of CarPlay, and then you flash this firmware to update it to whatever the latest version is, and that's how you get CarPlay on this. Here's CarPlay working as it should. I love this because obviously being able to use Google Maps and Spotify and Audible is just fantastic, even in a car like this that's not supposed to be luxurious. And as I mentioned earlier, this car's got these leather seats, and I really like these leather seats. They feel really durable, and they're actually contoured really nicely for somebody my size. I drove this thing 500 miles from the San Francisco Bay Area down to San Diego a couple of days ago, and it felt great. I came out with no aches, pains, nothing sore. It was actually really a real test of this car's road trip worthiness, and this thing passed with flying colors thanks to these seats. And another touch that I really like about this interior is this, oh gosh, I'm like breaking pieces off of this car. Check this piece out right here. Now, you can't really tell because this is all gray and black, but this piece is actually color matched to the outside of the car. So this is painted machine gray metallic. And if you have a red Miata, this piece is red. If you have a blue one, this is blue, and so on, right? I think that's a really lovely touch, just so that you feel more connected to the color that you chose for the outside of your car, which is kind of like the main color you choose, right? Like, you know, the interiors of cars, you know, usually there's only a couple of options, if that, but the exterior, that's where you really personalize the color of your car. So I love that they bring it into the inside as well. I think it looks really wonderful. So that's number two, just kind of like the fact that it's got just enough creature comfort so that it's not a total jail cell and it's not like a totally miserable place to be. It's, you know, a nice enough place to be, and it looks pretty nice on the inside and the outside. Now, the third thing that I love about this car, and this kind of takes the cake for me, is the fact that this car doesn't take itself too seriously. You can feel it in the way it drives. You can hear that in the way it sounds, and you can see that in the way that it looks. Now, let's start with the looks. I mean, this thing looks sporty, but it doesn't look overly aggressive. You know, I'm not really into those, you know, front end of those cars that look like, you know, like they're just angry at something. What is there to be angry about? You know, we're having a great time driving. Like, why is somebody angry? I don't know. But this car has a big ol' grin on its face, as you can see up front. And, you know, it doesn't look overly angry to me, and I really like that. Now, the way it sounds, well, it sounds like a 4-cylinder engine with, you know, a slightly bassier exhaust note, but ultimately it's not trying to be something crazy, and like, you know, it's not trying to sound like a baby Ferrari or something. It just is a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine with a slightly bassier note. That's it. And the way it drives, I mean, from the floppy suspension to like the eagerness of the brakes and the engine, all of that together, again, makes this car feel like it's just happy to be here. So, you know, I really love that about this. It's not like, it doesn't give you the impression that it's here to like, you know, beat other cars down into the ground with its like 0 to 60 times. I mean, you definitely don't want to like drag race one of those Honda Odysseys with the V6 in this thing. It probably won't turn out that well. And so it's just happy to be here. It's just like, hey guys, like I'm here to have fun. And I personally love that ethos, that DNA of this car, and just the way it looks and the way it sounds and the way it feels. The overall aura of the thing is what I love most about the Miata and why I own it. All right, guys, well, that's it for today. I just wanted to put out this little video to just express my appreciation for this car. And if you watched my last garage video, you know, where I talked about what I was gonna do to this garage, well, you can see that the walls and the ceilings are now painted very nicely. It's no longer unfinished drywall. And you can also see I have a few pieces of wall art that are gonna go on the walls. And next week, we're gonna get that polyaspartic flooring. So that's gonna look really clean, really nice. This garage will be in really nice shape in about a week's time. So you can look forward to that. I'll make a video to kind of update you all on that. But in any case, thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna make a lot more videos with this Miata now that it's here. I'm writing out some ideas right now, and I've got some things in the works. But yeah, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you liked today's video. Hit the like button as well. I really appreciate you joining me today. And again, this channel is all about just sharing our love of cars, right? And everything related to cars. So thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Let's go for a drive.